disrupting everybody's work. What do you think about the 90 minutes for Lewin? This guy's the closest guy.
He's his office is right there.
Basically right there.
He's right there. His office is right there. I mean,
Mm.
it's he wants 90 minutes. I mean, can you imagine the jury sitting in there? They have a verdict. Knock, knock, knock.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then cooling their heels for another freaking 90 minutes.
90 minutes. That's ridiculous. Quite frankly, I'm surprised it's an hour unless you have quote victims. Are they planning to bring Relly into the courtroom as a victim? Usually,
Yeah, could be.
Could be. They could be.
And it is LA, so but still, for the guy who's the closest to ask for the extra 30 minutes is a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an absolute ridiculous because they're going to be standing in the hall. You're in the hallway anyhow. You're waiting around. They just told the alternates to wait around, right?
Oh my
in the courthouse, right?
Yeah.
So they got to run around the court. They got to there's no place for them to go.
There's a cafeteria. There's
yeah, but there's really no place for them to lie down if they want to relax. I mean, they're going to be sitting on hard pews. I mean, and then there's a 90 minutes,
Yeah, I don't know why they don't see. The theory is, okay, we need an alternate. Go pluck one out of the hallway or the cafeteria so we can save the travel time they might have to use to get here.
But now
I don't think that's fair to the alternates. They already feel like they're getting screwed because, hey, we've sat through this. We don't get to do a damn thing. They should just say, get here as quickly as you can.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, get here. You're in LA County. Get here as quickly as you can, and then, there you go. I mean, plus, Lewin left the whole day. He knew that he was going to 4 o'clock. He knew. And now you and I said that. I said that this jury is going to go home. This judge is going to go home. They're going to celebrate their Valentine's Day there. Right, and then they're going to come back Tuesday to.
I like your romantic streak there. I'm not so sure that Valentine's Day was a motivator. I think it was just like it's Friday. It's the end of the day. Let's just we're not going to resolve anything in the next hour. If 5 is court closing time. Yeah. Let's just call it. But I like your romantic streak.
Well, it's.
How was your Valentine's dinner?
I have spent it with all of you, and I really thank all of you for spending it with us. How about this? They waive the right if there's a readback to go into the jury room and just have the court reporter do the readback. You normally like to bring them out. You'd like to see what the reaction is to the readback, what they're looking for, and all. But they waived that. They said no. The court reporter, whose name I think it was Kathy, can go in there. We waive the right to be there.
Yeah, I mean they'll discuss it with the court ahead of time. They just won't do any answer for the jury. I'm sorry, they won't do the back and forth with the jury in open court. Sometimes they bring the jury in.
Right, they bring the jury in. Usually they bring the jury in.
They discuss it and say, the court would say, "Here's your question. I'm read that into the record.
Right,
and here's our official answer."
Right. But this you had to waive your right because he had a right, I guess, to watch whether it goes in the jury room or out, and they waive the right to. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think it's a little unusual, but practical. In this case, where there is a little bit of travel issue, and if you're popping back in, and how long would they have to wait? Would it be another hour and a half to come in, reconvene?
Right. They have to go downstairs. Right. Yeah.
So maybe it's a practical decision.
Yeah. So maybe, and it also shows that he trusts them. He trusts the court reporter, obviously, and sometimes maybe they'll feel better, but obviously they may not know they're not allowed to ask the court reporter a question. There's going to be a bailiff's officer in there, right? There's going to be the court officer, the court clerk will have to go
and they'll have a transcript, and
they'll have a transcript of it, and they'll know. The attorneys will know in advance. I mean, what is
they'll know what's going in there. All the transcript will do is confirm that what they agreed to is what the jury was told.
What the jury was told. I don't know, Michael. I got a text. I got a text from somebody who I trust, who follows all these cases, and says, "And you guys tell me if you right." The text was, "What's going on? Why are people on Twitter saying ASAP is going to jail?" I don't see people saying that except for maybe one person, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're, in an echo chamber here. Maybe only people who think that he is getting kind of a raw deal come here, and everybody else who thinks he's guilty is elsewhere. I don't think that's true. I think we have some reasonable people here who are weighing the evidence that they've seen.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? I had another couple of notes. Do I have time to share those, or should we just get the
Sure.
heck out
No,
of here?
let's share them, and then we'll be out of here by probably 7:30. And yes, we'll be on
Yeah.
an hour call Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Let's see what time is. So they'll be finished by 7 o'clock Tuesday, anyhow,
For
even with
sure.
the verdict. So yeah, we'll be on an hour call Wednesday. Michael will be here covering the hour call because I'll be in New Jersey all day
Yeah.
in case they have
Wednesday,
a
this
verdict.
is going to be a distant memory.
I think so too.
It's
And
gonna-
by the way, one other thing. Did you see? And I pointed. The judge said, if you have a verdict on one, but you can't decide on another, tell me.
Let me ask you this. Instruction 224, circumstantial evidence. This was obviously asked for, I'm guessing, by Joe, because we heard Lewin rely so heavily on, this is not a circumstantial evidence case. This is not a circumstantial evidence. It's direct evidence. And he talks about witnesses. True, direct evidence.
Right.
And he talked about some of the other elements, saying those are all direct evidence, all direct evidence. I have a feeling that Tacopina just wanted the jury to be reminded that there are two kinds of evidence. Don't necessarily take Lewin's pronouncement that there is no circumstantial evidence in this case as fact.
Right.
Look
I
at
agree with you. I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right.
Then one other point. Excuse me. One other point.
No.
There's a point. There's a point at which, in his closing, his rebuttal, Lewin threw up the picture. Lewin threw up the picture of the knuckles, and it immediately I thought, man, that's actually a brighter, clearer picture than we've seen, right?
Right.
And Joe Tacopina objected because that is not the one that's in evidence. And Lewin admitted, oh, you're right. And he found the one that's in evidence, which is not as good a picture. So I thought it was kind of a drop the ball on the prosecution for not having both of them in, or the better one in.
Well, maybe the better they couldn't. They probably were doing their own, upgrading of the picture to try to see pixels and all, and they couldn't validate it.
It's hard to tell.
But in California, normally the clerk has the evidence that's been marked.
Yes.
You have to go get it, even when you do your closing. You go get it. So I don't understand how that mistake can be made. But the judge said
I think he just took it from maybe his own pile, not from the pile of evidence.
Right.
And I don't say he was doing anything
the judge
improper,
I know,
but Joe caught it, and it just surprised me they didn't have that in evidence. Get both, get the best ones you can.